Well, here we are at Feringer Ranch Park. It's kind of a little bit of a barren plot of land here just southwest of Denver in Lakewood. As you can see, we're right up on the foothills of the mountains. Hard to beat the views out here, and they've managed to make a pretty challenging course, especially if we follow the out of bounds rules. The city has put in a lot of money recently, practice nets. We've got these nice new sheltered tables all over the course, fantastic tee pads, and these amazing new signs. I'm fairly familiar with this course, so I'm going to play with the OBs today and let's see how we do. There's the intro. Let's get to throwing. These guys are just about done. All right, so hole one, we got 355 up the road. Plays a lot longer than that, plays more like 380. Uphill, and first throw. Road and OB right is out of bounds. We're gonna start off with the flash, the Discraft Flash. Got this as a gift from a friend since it's my nickname, so. Short. But that should give us a look at the basket. Alright. Jump in out here. We got a chance. With the Rainmaker here. Here, hole two, we got the beautiful island formation down there. 314, there is another position that's slightly to the right of that. Let's go Pathfinder. Slightly downhill, 314. I can get it just lofty up to the right side, get a nice little fade at the end and skip up to the rock formation. That's what we're looking for. Okay, we scooted up to the formation, which is about the best we can hope for right here. A little elevated putt, so I'm trying to get it close to I almost lofted that too much. Hole three out here with a beautiful view of the mountains. Pretty common out here. One of the reasons I like this course so much. 510 feet. One hole position stays pretty constant. Double OB, we got the road, the cart path that kind of snakes in on the right side and squeezes up to a little channel along with the kind of culvert here, the irrigation ditch. That usually doesn't have water in it. This place is usually dry, except for maybe a couple times a year when they release the water. But yeah, par four, pretty challenging when you play both OBs. It gets very, very skinny up by the pin, and it's very skippy ground. Sorry, this high school is getting out by behind us. Apologize for the car noise. But yeah, so we're gonna try to eat something out somewhat stable. Get some distance out there, but we don't want to skip too high. This little elevation kind of forces people to throw a little too high. You turn it over, you go with the road OB. But we're gonna go max distance, so we're gonna bring out the Faro. Should have enough stability to keep us back inbounds, but push straight, long, and hopefully not stay out of the irrigation ditch as well. Ideally, we want to be just a bit right of that fence so we can push it. think that might be ideal. I might have gone OB, but I think I skipped off of the road back inbound. But I guess we'll see. Okay, we ended up pretty much ideal and pretty good distance. The OB line technically is this fence, although most of the time when they play the ditch, we did get a good skip left and great distance up into this funnel. Still going to be a challenging upshot. I could go floppy here and try to stop it by the basket, but I think I'm going to go soft tactic, slight anhyzer, try to keep it down the right side of the road and let the tactic come back at the very end and the softness slow it down. All right, a little low and a little short. I didn't stop it recording. All right, well, I didn't stop it recording. But yeah, stayed in bounds barely, but woefully short. And we've got a bit of a depth putt here. Technically might be standing out of bounds. I'm not sure exactly here, but not a tournament, so I'm not going to be that mad about it. Short, but we stayed alive. This hole is very challenging in a tournament setting, and depending on how they play the OB, one of the plays is just to go for the basket and miss, take your OB stroke and take your par putt right next to the basket. But as there is no drop zone on this par 4, so can be a strategy. Well, we got our par and we had a chance for birdie, but if I would have missed that cage a little left, or got to skip off the cage, could have easily been a bogey. But we got a par, so we'll take it. All right, hole 4. A position short left here, 200 feet in the, a little bit uphill on this grove. It's currently in the B, which is 260, just up, almost straight to the right slightly. 260 though, plays closer to like 280, 290 because of the uphill. So we're gonna go kind of straight at it with the Centurion. Try to keep it low so it doesn't fade too much. Oh, go in. Ooh. All right, a little slip, but we're up there in the circle, so. Ooh. Inside the circle, should be an easy bird. On to hole 5. Now, hole 5, there's 285 straight up the hill. Plays closer to like 310, 320. And then we got 342 in the back left corner. If you can see the little ball by the power tower, way up there. Plays more like 380, 390 with this hill. Go with our Grace here. Just enough understability to try and push the distance, but counteract the slight nose up here. Whoa. That new Grace is a little more stable than I'm used to. We're a little bit short there. Yeah, unfortunately we faded out a little early. I lost my old Grace. This new one is not beat in yet. It's a little more stable, and I didn't have my wave. Normally I want a little more instability. Turn that line a little bit, hold it. But we got a long look, so maybe we can't make some magic happen. What I'm doing. Yeah, didn't get the turnover out of my hand. I've been liking the turnover putt a little more for distance putts. Occasionally they come out funny like that. Probably could have just kind of done a bit more of a hyzer bid. All right, here we go. Hole 6, 178, straight shot at it. A little bit of stuff here and there. They trimmed a little bit to give some people, the forehand throwers, a little bit more room, and some of those tops so you can throw a little bit of a hyzer. I like to kind of go straight at it. The hill slopes the whole way, and it's very easy to like have your disc try to go for an ace run and have your disc skip way down the hill and not even have a birdie putt. So I like to use this kind of little slight anhyzer throw at it, kind of keep the disc level, let it come up at the end. You know, it's soft tactic, slight anhyzer. We're gonna go mostly straight at it. Oh, a little short. Little short. Just not enough on it. Just needed a touch more power. Let that anhyzer pull it a little more, and I would have had an ace run, but we probably got a putt. All right. Took ourselves a putt. Probably could have gone maybe Rainmaker straight at it instead of or an NV. I don't know. I've been working on that kind of anhyzer shot, and I just like the touch of it a little more. It allows me to kind of force the anhyzer to stay away from the tree line so I don't accidentally hit it. All right, hole 7, and my favorite hole on the course, best view on the course. Come out here close to sunset, you get the amazing sunsets, and we get this giant bomber downhill drive. In the A position over here in this large tree grove, just in front of that, OB in the little ditch behind it, so it gets a little sketchy down by the pin, but it's 485, but it's reachable with the hill. There is another pin location by this stump. I don't know if you can see it. It's a 465, and then there's a right position over by these trees at 414. Rarely see it in those other positions. It's usually in this one in the grove. I'm not throwing super far at the moment, so I'm going to speed down a little bit. Throwing downhill, we're going to try to match the grade. The downhill is going to exaggerate both turn and fade. This is a new Saint metal flake, so it's decently stable. So I'm going to try to let the supreme glide of this Saint kind of carry me down the hill a little bit, since I'm not throwing super hard at the moment. But we're going to try to match the slope of the hill and just glide it out there and see how close we can get. All right, a little bit short, but we got down there. We might have a long putt. All right, not quite all the way there, but a pretty good throw nonetheless. Normally if I'm throwing a little better, I can get a chance, but this gives us a long bid. But OB just gone very skippy ground right next to it. It gives us a long bid. Try to do a lofty nose up. Very dangerous in the tournament. Probably would have laid up. Normally, there's the OB flag you can see right on the edge of this little cliff. And again, very skippy, very dangerous. Pretty hard birdie, but pretty good par. Interestingly, before this bridge was there used to be, people used to either jump off the stump when there was water in, or they would leave a pole with a rope on it in the ditch, and you would pole vault over, toss the pole back. It was actually kind of fun. Little call out to the Holland dike crossing there. All right, hole 8. This hole is a nightmare in the tournaments and play. 2 positions. You can see one just to the right of the stump there at 263. 304 out just in front of the ditch and just beyond the road. When this plays double OB, the ditch is OB and the road is OB, leaving a tiny strip to land in. Very, very hard. The drop zone is way over here by the tree, so even if you go, even the drop zone is not a guaranteed layup. The safe play is to kind of lay up to the drop zone, the strip along the drop zone to the left of this tree, kind of toward the close hole. But we're gonna go for it. Screw it. We're gonna go out here. I'm gonna go FD flat right. Let's see if I can't get my distance control down. Give us a chance here. That's it. Got a chance. Oh, I think it just rolled OB. Damn. Unfortunately, I don't see it up there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the drop zone. But as you can see, the strip is maybe 20 feet wide, 15 feet wide. Doesn't leave a whole lot of room, even from this drop zone. So we could get a big score here pretty easily. Go envy. I don't know if I made it back inbounds. A little bit better that time. Yep, you can see our FD just trickled OB. And the NV didn't even really make it back inbounds. So, big score. Unfortunate.
Alright, on to hole 9. Big wide open bomber. Currently in the C position at 615, par 4, very scoreable. There is a B position, 474, in between the trees down there. Pretty challenging par 3. I've never seen it in A, but in the C position, we're just gonna grip it and rip it. It doesn't matter right, left, either way. There's big open spaces down there. There's no OB, so we just want to get into a clear spot, not behind something, for a good upshot to the pin and an easy 3.
All right, I think they're far enough out there. Well, we can give us a rip. We're gonna go back to the old Faro. See if we can't get some actual power on this guy. Get it out there. not bad. It came out of my hand just a touch early. Got some good turn on it, but should at least give us a decent throw into the basket. All right, unfortunately, that came out just a touch, came out a little early and just didn't get the full flight on it, or the full snap. Unfortunately, it cost me probably a good 50, 60 feet. Usually a little bit better of a rip, I can get a bit more of a putter throw in, but we're still not bad. We're in this open spot and we're close enough for an easy mid, so not bad for a par 4, but definitely could have been a much better drive. All right, I'll leave us a nice easy putt. My best drive ever actually happened on this hole recently. In a tournament, I landed in the middle of this road right here, which is past the 475 basket. Measured it on U-disc at 505, but a little downhill, and I had a favoring tailwind that gave me a good late skip. But still, what a launch. And I followed it up with another one that was really close, about 20 feet back of that in the set round 2. Crazy thing is, I didn't birdie either time because I couldn't putt. Left myself a little bit of work here, but nothing I shouldn't be able to handle anymore. Oh my goodness, Dave, what are we doing? What are we doing? Hands are a little cold and I just... Oh boy, that's not good. I talked about it and I just did it again. Unfortunate. I'm gonna bring this in here from the side, get a little bit better of view. It's hard to tell where the pin is from this location. Here's the pad. All right, hole 10. We just gave away a birdie. That's unfortunate. That is a very scoreable par 4, and we blew the putt. Talked about it and didn't take my time. This very hard, another very hard hole with the OB if you use the drop zone rule. Pin is right on the edge of this ravine here. Usually a dry ditch. Okay, every once in a while there's water in it, but forehand or a big turnover. Problem is with the forehand, it's easy to skip in. Turnover, I think, is a little more safety. I used to throw like a paradox or something, but that would tend to just do the same thing as forehand and skip out. Dropbox is basically an impossible death putt, so it's almost a guaranteed 4 if you go OB. But we're gonna try the turnover since I'm not using forehand right now. I unfortunately don't have Mindbender in here, so we're gonna go back to our trusty Pathfinder. We hope that it has just enough stability to come out of the turnover. Keep your brain keyed in on. Oh, and that turnover is too soft. And that's actually going to just put me where the drop zone is. All right, I don't know if you can see the death putt, but this is basically an impossible putt. It's actually kind of hard to lay up and not go into the ravine and give yourself a decent putt. The drop zone is right there, you can see. So I'm going to use my cheat disc, my elevation interceptor here. If I give it a light toss, it's just going to hyzer out and flop near the basket. Amazing disc for this type of situation. We also have another one on this course we may use it on. But it's very, very easy to lay up a normal putter or disc and slide off. If you hit the pole even, if you try to run it and get any cage or miss, you're just gonna get an instant OB. So the Interceptor, it's money. All right, hole 11, down there in the grove. There is a hyzer line, but there's a lot of stuff blocking it. OB on the creek the whole way. Kind of flexing a mid-in can work. It is, right now, I believe it is in this 259 A position. There's a B position and a long C position. That's 390 in this other grove. And I also don't have my other flippy turnover disc. I don't have my Ascend, which I normally use. This is a forehand, easy forehand throw, but again, not forehanding. So again, I'm gonna go flex Pathfinder. I'm gonna try to take the hard line, which is kind of low and flat. There is this little cluster of bushes. It's hard to see on here, but we have to get it over that to get it a chance to skip it into the hole. Otherwise, we're left with a really long putt if we get stuck in that, and it's pretty easy to kick OB. But since I don't have my turnover discs, we're gonna go for it. Too inside for that. I don't have anything flippy enough. All right. Yeah, just not enough turn again on the Pathfinder. And I was a little scared of the right side, but got a bit of a depth putt, but I can give it a lofty bid. All right. Stay safe though. Not a good bid. OB is right here. I'll take the par. All right, now the sun's out the shot here. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better now. It's on this hill, right at the peak of the hill. The hill becomes a bowl on the other side. So there's no flat top. It is on maybe a 3 or 4 foot wide little thing. Very challenging pin position. There's a little shelf on the right side of the hill, and that is the less steep of the slope. You can forehand it to the inside, but the inside is a little steeper, I think. But my play is we're gonna go FD on a hyzer, try to spike it into the hillside. At worst, we roll down onto that little shelf, and then we could potentially have a putt if we wanted to run it. Plays a little longer than 267 because it is uphill and it is on top of the mound. Plays more like 300. Short. All right, well, we came up short and got a strange skip uphill. Never seen that.
I've never seen that before.
All right, we came up way short, but somehow skipped up the hill. Put the sunglasses away. But this is pretty much a death putt. Hard to tell, but it literally drops off right behind the basket. So we're gonna whip out floppy again and just get it to park up there. Give it a chance. All right, well, I'll walk this up here and you can kind of see drops off into this bowl, and pretty steep drop off, really easy to roll away. And again, the elevation allows us to give it a run with no fear of bouncing out. If it hits the cage, it'll just fall down and stop. If it hits the chains, more often than not, it'll stick. It is pretty overstable, so I couldn't give it too high a chance for the chains, else it could have faded down that hill. But not bad. All right, hole 13, the island hole. They've really built this up over the last couple years. Right now, I think it's in this 313 position. There's a secondary position still on the island on the left a little bit. Not as elevated, but a little closer to the edge. Drop zone is on the island, but it's like an 80-foot putt onto an elevated basket. So you want to try to get it on the island. You get through this little V, try to float it up just to the right. I'm going to throw my Centurion, let it settle in, hopefully skip up maybe to the elevated woodwork there. Looks pretty decent. Oh, I skipped long, but that should be okay. Coming up on the island here. Here is the drop zone. Again, probably an 80-foot putt. Not much of a death putt, so you can run it, but it is at the elevated basket. It's pretty easy to leave yourself pretty far away running it. Most people just try to park it on the planter. I thought for a second this was going to skip right into the planter, but we are on the island safe. And hopefully a birdie. Take a birdie on this hole every day. Alright, back on track. Ooh, starting to get some beautiful colors from the late evening here. Out on the east side. Hole 14, have 3 positions. There's one position here to the right, the sharp end, 335. By the white trees near the big tree in the middle is the middle position. That's like 480. And then we're currently in the long position down there to the left of the 2 trees at 634. Wide open. Only OB is the ditch, so just don't really turn it over too hard, and you're pretty safe. There's tons. Sometimes there'll be an OB line down the left side, but I rarely see them put it out. But just huge open field for a monster rib. See if we can't get one way out there. Give ourselves a good, easier shot in for an easy birdie on par 4. Par 4 in the long position, par 3 and the other 2. All right, we're gonna go faro again. Give us all the room. Can't get a good snap on our faro this time. All right, I slipped just a little bit, but that should get out there pretty good distance. Got a nice little S-curve on it. Yeah, this is a great rip. I got some pretty good crush on it. That white pin over there is the 480 basket. We're almost in line with it, although straight, so probably more like, this might have been in that 440, 450 range. I unfortunately don't have my rangefinder, but I'm by this yellow stake and that, so I'll see if I can't pinpoint it on Google Maps. We're straight ahead behind this little tree to the left of those 2 trees. I think I'm actually close enough to go tactic hyzer here. I'd rather not go long because it's creek is right behind it, so tactic hyzer, give ourselves a putt here. Okay, just kind of what I was playing for. A little short, but I'd rather be short than long. All right, a bit shorter than I wanted. I thought I was trying to skip down into this little gully and avoid going into the ditch beyond, but this should be a makeable putt. Two in a row. Take it. Let me take a little different angle on this. Hole 15, a bit more of another of a forehand throw, kind of around the bend in between this line of trees. It's in between the second and third tree. There is a little mound that you can kind of skip into that prevents skipping into the ditch, the OB ditch. So there is some protection, so you can kind of go for it a little bit. And I did discover I have my Civet in one of my side pockets, so could have used that earlier, but we're going to try the turnover here. This thing is very flippy, but I'm going to give it a nice big wide turnover. See if we can't get ourselves a putt. Oh, way too wide. That's scared. That was a scared turnover. Yep, just a little too wide. This bay is so flippy. I got a little scared of just really turning it over. But just a touch more inside or a little bit more height, and we can skip down this little slope and kind of nestle by the pin for an easy bird, but didn't quite get it. But got a backdrop so I can run it. Birdie opportunity. All right, hole 16. I'm breathing hard because I'm trying to speed up here a little bit, running out of light. Hole 16, I think, can't see, it's in the long position, so it's back right a little bit. There is kind of a chunk of shrubbery beyond the big tree just to the right of it that can occasionally be swampy. There's a Mando right here, so we can't go big hyzer. There's also OB Creek along the way. So what I'm going to try to do is get something laser straight at the tree that will keep flipping. See if we can't kind of... It does almost look like they might have cleared some of the shrubs out of the way. I don't see as much in the way there. But it's 323. We're gonna go Saint and see if I can get it to kind of just drift to the right a little bit here. If I do it Saint softly, it'll drift and then stable up at the end with a little bit of anhyzer. Perfect line, I just didn't throw it hard enough. Well, I absolutely parked the middle basket here. Unfortunately, that's not the basket I was throwing at. Just didn't get quite enough on it to maintain that turn. As you can see, here's that kind of scrub. It's a little thin right now. It gets pretty thick and pretty tall in the early spring. it becomes pretty hard to throw that low line under these branches, but we got a long chance here. Take it. Let's go. Putting, it's feeling good today, other than that one I gave away. But here we are, hole 17. OB all in front of us. So the safe play is forehand out left, or a turnover, or a big hyzer outright. The problem is you can't see it, but there is another set of bushes that are almost in line back here. They're almost in line with the pin. I've thrown hyzers and parked it, but in a tournament setting, if it hits those bushes at all, it's OB. It never gets back in, so you're at a re-tee. But I'm gonna go with my Simon instinct and try the hyzer too. Just go with the dangerous play. We'll try the hyzer. That's pretty good. It's high enough. Spike down. All right, in the bowl and have a putt. Not parked, but good enough. Okay, the hyzer in the bowl though, so if you overcommit the hyzer, this is the drop zone. Fairly is a death putt. You'll make it inbound. But the hyzer does have this backdrop here to come into if you. So the mistake is to kind of do the hyzer a bit inside. At worst, you're kind of in this bowl. But again, if you have a forehand, the problem is the forehand. This ground is so slick, it's very easy to skip OB. And we've got a little bit of a death putt here, but there's enough room that I can run a soft hit here. I keep this rolling here. Choked. It's pretty quiet and peaceful out here in the evenings. It is beautiful. It's not the prettiest patch of land, but man, the views out here are something else. All right, hole 18. All right, hole 18, 383, just over the pinnacle of that hill. OB Creek runs all the way along. Kind of, there's a little bit of a jut behind that tree. Comes back around behind the basket. Tags, we usually don't play it because everyone wants to throw the hyzer. And the noodle arms need the space to get the distance. But we are going to, you know what? I don't know if I'm throwing hard enough today to throw this, but we're gonna give the cloud breaker a rip because I need the overstability. I'm gonna go over the OB. Is this slanted? All right, it's all right. Camera was slanted. I'm gonna go cloud breaker over the OB a little bit, let it fade back in. If I can push it far enough just over the edge of that hill, we can skip toward the basket. If not, if this comes up a little short, it's safe. It's a safe skip to the top of this open area here. I could go a little understable and Normally I'll throw my Grace, my brand new Grace. I don't quite trust it, but I know this Cloudbreaker is beefy, but it's a little beat in, so see if we can get a perfect drive here to end the night. All right, just a touch inside. All right, we came up a bit short, but the pink is easily visible, a little bit safe. I just got it a little too high and not quite wide enough. I needed about 30 more feet and a little bit more right, and I would have skipped up. I have a glow. I don't have my waves. I don't really trust that Grace yet. I thought maybe in this cold at night right now, it would be a little more flippy, but we got one last chance here. Get a putt. There's OB behind the basket, so I do have to be a little careful here. You know, lofty nose up bid. Oh. All right. Didn't get it nose up enough. All right, we stayed safe. Thankfully. Oh, there we go. Well, there we have it. There's 18 holes at Feringer Ranch Disc Golf Park. Just had enough light to get through it. Played pretty damn good. Let a couple opportunities go. Had that one bad hole. But other than that, made up with it with some fantastic putts. Pretty good round. I think we finished 4 down, but I'll have to check. But yeah, there we go. Not the prettiest property, but man, it is beautiful out here. Well maintained, lots of facilities, 2 practice baskets, the warm-up nets, lots of picnic tables, good parking, everything. The city has put a lot of effort into this course, and it's good challenging design. Forehand throws, challenging touchy upshots, some nice good par 4s. If you play the OB, it can be really challenging, as you saw, especially on certain throws. But yeah, we played it pretty good. If I could have done that in the tournament a month ago, I probably would have won my division. But sometimes a couple days off and some disc comparisons will have you throwing pretty good. But well, we'll see you in the next one.
Whoa!